What's going on, everyone? Today's video, I'm doing a response to a video by a YouTuber named LostNUnbound's. I guess he makes basketball videos, and I've only seen 2 videos he uploaded that I didn't care for. I don't know much about his channel except the 2 videos I watched. Now, he did a video ranking the best teams if players were in their primes during the 2018-2019 NBA season. Players who are past their primes like Vince Carter, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Carmelo Anthony, etc., with players currently in their primes like Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, etc. He uploaded this video on April 25th during the NBA playoffs. He ranked the 7 best teams in the Eastern and Western Conference based on his opinion who would be the best if players were in their primes. Honestly, he should have done the best 8 teams if everyone was in their primes, just to balance it out to look like it's a playoff bracket. But he only did 7. What I didn't like about his video was the wrong information that was given in this video. So I'm going to play the video and react to it.
Derrick Rose! We're switching you with the Chicago Bulls Derrick Rose that won MVP! LeBron James is going back to the Miami Heat version of LeBron James. Dwight Howard is back to his best version when he was on the Orlando Magic.
Why did he have a picture of Dwight in a Hornets jersey, but not a Wizards jersey? He played for the Hornets during the 2017-2018 season, not the 2018-2019 season.
Every NBA player is in their prime, but they have to stay on the same team. So the Washington Wizards, with prime John Wall and prime Dwight Howard, all of a sudden are a contender. Let's begin with the Eastern Conference. Number 7, the Charlotte Hornets. At point guard, we got Tony Parker. In this 2012 version, he got 5th place in the MVP voting. Next, we got Kemba Walker, the 2012 Nicholas Batum, Marvin Williams when he was on the Atlanta Hawks, and Bismack Biyombo, who was one of the best defensive players in 2016. This team is amazing, and it's only number 7.
First of all, why is Kemba Walker starting at the shooting guard position when he's a point guard like Tony Parker? Must be due to the small ball lineup crap that teams like the Warriors do, giving teams problems. And so other teams are starting to do it now in today's NBA as the NBA continues to constantly evolve for the sake of it, which I find ridiculous. Listen, I personally don't care for the small ball lineups that much. And if Parker and Kemba are starting in the backcourt, then who will be Parker's backup? That's why I would start Kemba, Jeremy Lamb, Nicholas Batum, Marvin Williams, and Cody Zeller. I think Cody Zeller is a better player than Bismack Biyombo. That's just me. And then have Tony Parker as the 6th man, since I think Kemba is a better player than prime Tony Parker. I don't see the Hornets as a playoff team, even with Parker, Kemba, Lamb, Batum, Williams all in their primes.
Number 6, Atlanta Hawks. Right now, they're one of the worst teams in the league. But when everyone's in their prime, we got Trae Young, but more importantly, the 2001 Vince Carter! 28 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, a Hall of Famer. Small forward, we got Kent Bazemore, and even in 2014, he wasn't a superstar, but he was a very good role player. John Collins and Dwayne Dedmon. Since the Hawks are a very young team, most of them aren't in their prime yet, like Trae Young and John Collins, but adding a prime Vince Carter instantly makes them a playoff team.
I would use 2016 Bazemore instead of 2014 Bazemore, since I don't think he entered his prime until he arrived in Atlanta. During the 2013-2014 season, he began the season with the Golden State Warriors, then was traded to the Lakers. Yes, he was averaging 13.9 points per game and 23 games with the Lakers. But like I said, why not use 2016 Kent Bazemore instead? Then he said he wasn't a superstar in 2014. When was Bazemore ever a superstar? Like you said, he's a very good role player. Why did he use 2017 Dwayne Dedmon when he just had his best season on the Hawks? Overall, I don't see this Hawks team making the playoffs. Sure, they will improve, possibly winning close to almost 40 games. A prime Vince Carter on the Hawks would be worth watching, but they would only have prime Vince Carter and prime Ken Bazemore since Trae Young was just a rookie, and this is the best of John Collins we have seen. Not to mention their bench wouldn't be all that great either.
Number 5, Cleveland Cavaliers. This one is crazy. Point guard, we got Colin, the 2019 version. But this is where it gets crazy. Matthew Dellavedova. Right now, he's not a big deal. But in 2016, he was a huge reason the Cavaliers made it to the finals. One of the best defensive guards in the league.
Huge problem with the backcourt. Has he forgotten about Brandon Knight? How about starting Brandon Knight over Sexton since Colin was just a rookie? Instead of starting Matthew Dellavedova, how about starting Jordan Clarkson?
But it gets better. Small forward J.R. Smith. The best version of JR is 2013 when he was on the New York Knicks. One of the best scorers in the league.
He has 2012-2013 Sixth Man of the Year J.R. Smith, but shows a clip of JR on the Nuggets. That don't make no sense. I expected to see a clip of Sixth Man of the Year JR in New York, not Denver.
Power forward Kevin Love. Prime Kevin Love is one of the best power forwards the NBA has ever seen. He might have been a little bit chubby, but he was averaging 26 points and 13 rebounds and was an MVP candidate. Center Tristan Thompson and the sixth man off the bench, 2011 Channing Frye. Some of you might think I'm ranking them too high, but trust me, prime Kevin Love would take this team to the playoffs easily.
I would have used 2017 Tristan Thompson before the Kardashian curse got to him, leading Tristan to cheat on Khloe. The Kardashian curse has kicked in Tristan Thompson's butt. Anyways, 2019 Tristan only played in 43 games due to injuries, aka the Kardashian curse, because of his cheating ways behind Khloe's back. T-Wolves' Kevin Love couldn't get his team to the playoffs in the Wild Wild Western Conference. So what the hell makes you think he can take this team to the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, even with LeBron no longer in the East?
Number 4, Toronto Raptors. Man, this team could win a title.
He said they could win a title. 2 months later, the Raptors are champions. Anyways, I'm cool with the Raptors starting 5 in their primes. I mean, this is pretty much right. 2016, Lowry. 2015, Danny Green. Kawhi Leonard. Thunder, Serge Ibaka, and Grizzlies, Marc Gasol. But I would use 2017 Kawhi Leonard when he's with the Spurs because he was healthy. And this past season, Kawhi only played in 60 games for the Raptors due to injuries. And then he had that low management crap, for him to rest because Kawhi Leonard is kind of injury prone. I mean, he really hasn't played in 82 games or anywhere around 80-something games to stay relatively healthy throughout his career.
Number 3, Milwaukee Bucks. Point guard, the 2017 George Hill. It was the best season of his career. He did amazing in Utah, but then he got traded the next season. Then we got Malcolm Brogdon and Giannis, both the 2019 version. They're already in their prime, but this is where it gets good. Power forward Pau Gasol, a future Hall of Famer. This is the year he won an NBA championship. 19 points, 10 rebounds, one of the best power forwards in the NBA at the time. Even better, Brook Lopez. When he was with the Brooklyn Nets, he was scoring over 20 a game and was unstoppable. But it didn't matter because that season, the Brooklyn Nets were terrible. Well, now it matters.
First of all, Eric Bledsoe in his prime was better than George Hill in his prime. So Bledsoe should be starting. Sure, Hill averaged a career-high 16.9 points per game, but only played in 49 games. I would have used Pacers George Hill. Second, I would have kept Brogdon at the 2, Milton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and start Pau Gasol at center. Brook Lopez would come off the bench and be the 6th man. By the way, the 2014-2015 season, the Nets made the playoffs. The 2015-2016 Nets, that was the team that missed the playoffs. just winning 21 games. So it should be 2016 Brook Lopez. And why do you have 2017 Pau Gasol, who was past his prime, on the Spurs? It was 2010 when Pau won his second championship.
Number 2, Boston Celtics. This might be controversial, but Kyrie Irving when he was on the Cavaliers. I think the 2017 Kyrie is the best one we've seen. He averaged 25 points and 6 assists with LeBron. Do you know how hard it is to average 25 assists with LeBron James?
What's wrong with using current Kyrie? And he said he averaged 25 points per game and, 6 assists. He actually averaged 5.8, but that's still close to 6 assists. Whatever. But then he said Kyrie averaged 25 assists. I'm sure he meant to say 25 points per game again, because there's no way a point guard would dish out 25 assists per game. Not even Magic Johnson, John Stockton, and Jason Kidd would do that.
Jaylen Brown, but the 2018 version, his numbers were a little bit better last year.
I would still use 2019 Jaylen Brown.
Gordon Hayward when he was on the Utah Jazz. Power forward Jason Tatum from this season. And center, the 2014 Atlanta Hawks, Al Horford. He was the leading scorer of the team and was an all-star that season. But Greg, this is the best team we've seen. How are they not number 1? Number 1 is about to blow your mind.
Horford had another injury-shortened season, so he wasn't an all-star during the 2013-2014 season. But he was an all-star the next season in 2015. So it should be 2014-2015 Al Horford.
Number 1, the Washington Wizards. Prime John Wall. He was the best defensive point guard, averaged 23 points, 11 assists, and 2 steals a game. He was a superstar.
More like an all-star to me, which he still is. Here he goes with the superstar crap again.
Bradley Beal from this season is averaging 26 a game. Trevor Ariza in 2010 when he was with the Houston Rockets, but he was an amazing defender and had a very high three-point percentage. 2017 Jabari Parker, 20 points per game. Oh my goodness. Before the injuries, that guy was a superstar.
Jabari Parker was no superstar. Maybe borderline all-star at best. Yes, Jabari averaged a career-high 20.1 points per game, but only played in 51 games due to injury. I would have used 2016 Jabari Parker, since he was healthy. And I would start Jeff Green at power forward instead.
And our center, who is barely a part of the Wizards right now, but technically he's on their roster, Dwight Howard. When he was on the Orlando Magic, he was the best center in the league for years. His stats that season are so disgusting, they deserve a moment of silence.
He has a picture of Wizards Dwight, but not prime Magic Dwight. LostNUnbound, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but his editing in this video is poor. Hopefully in the future he'll do better with his editing. And he's getting so much wrong information and research. It's like, was he even rushing this during this entire video? Did he even bother back check to what he just said with the false errors and information? I guess not.
But if you thought these were good, they are nothing compared to the Western Conference. Number 7, Memphis Grizzlies. At point guard, we got Mike Conley, and surprisingly, this is his best season right now. Avery Bradley. In case you forgot, when he was on the Boston Celtics, he was the best defender in the league, averaged 16 points a game, and was one of their most valuable players. What happened to him? I don't know. Small forward Chandler Parsons. On the Houston Rockets, he was one of the elite up-and-coming scorers. Power forward Jonas Valanciunas from this season, and center, oh my goodness, Joakim Noah. With the Chicago Bulls, Joakim Noah won Defensive Player of the Year, made the All-Star team, and averaged the most points of his career.
I agree with the starting five, but I would have Joakim at power forward and Jonas at center.
Number 6, Utah Jazz. This team is a little weird. At point guard, we got Ricky Rubio. but we're gonna use the 2016 version when he was on the Timberwolves.
Why use 2016 Rubio when his prime years are with the Jazz? Rubio's giving you 12 to 13 points per game.
Donovan Mitchell this season. At small forward, we're using Kyle Korver from the Atlanta Hawks. In 2014, Kyle Korver was an all-star. Power forward, Jay Crowder. Just like Avery Bradley from the Grizzlies, Jay Crowder was so much better on the Celtics. And center, Rudy Gobert. Sixth man, they got Derek Favors, but the 2016 version, who was incredible.
I think Culver should be on the bench as Donovan Mitchell's backup. Joe Ingles should still be the starting small forward, and I would still start Favors at power forward. Why 2016 Favors when 2019 Favors is just fine? And I would still have Jay Crowder off the bench. He also said Crowder was so much better in Boston than in Utah. I mean, the statistics do show that Crowder was better as a Celtic than a Jazz player, but he's still in his prime, dude.
Number 5, Dallas Mavericks. Let's just skip to power forward. We got Dirk Nowitzki, the 2017 version that won MVP, one of the few NBA players to ever have a 50, 40, 90 year. Point guard.
Hold the phone. You have 2007 Dirk that obviously won MVP, but then you said 2017. Dirk was way past his prime in 2017. So why you have 2007 Dirk, which is correct, but why did you say 2017 was when Dirk won the MVP? Huh? Did he have a short-term memory where he just forgot about it?
Devin Harris, the all-star version. Yeah, there is an all-star version. He averaged 21 points and 7 assists.
Devin Harris was an all-star in 2009, not in 2008, since Harris was traded from Dallas to the Nets during the 2007-2008 season. Seriously, what's up with him with the mixing up the wrong seasons and years? What is he doing? Listen, I know as YouTubers, you're going to make your errors and mistakes in your videos. I mean, we're humans. We're going to make mistakes. But so far in this entire video, he is making too much mistakes with a whole bunch of wrong errors and information. And his editing continues to be very poor. Like, seriously, what is he doing?
Tim Hardaway Jr. when he was on the New York Knicks last year. And of course, our small forward, Luka Doncic.
If his last season's Hardaway Jr., then why do you have 2019 Hardaway Jr.? And shouldn't he be at small forward and Luka at shooting guard?
And center, well, they don't have a good center. That's why they're only number 5. Dwight Powell.
No center? How could he forget about Kristaps Porzingis? Yes, he is primarily a power forward, but he can play center alongside Dirk. How could he forget about Porzingis? Did he forget that he was injured? Okay, I get it. Porzingis missed the entire 2018-2019 season due to injury. But still, dude, how could you still forget about Porzingis? So for him to forget Porzingis, he was like, oh, well, since, the Mavericks don't have really good center, might as well stick with Josh Powell, just throw him in there for the sake of it. No, dude. What is up with this video? I hope he's just trolling. Maybe he's just trolling. But then again, I really don't think he's trolling. I think he's dead serious.
Number 4, OKC Thunder. Point guard, we got my guy Russell Westbrook, but let's switch him with the 2017 version. This is the year he won MVP and probably his most efficient season so far. Then we got Dennis Schroeder, but we're gonna use the 2017 version when he was on the Atlanta Hawks, averaging over 19 points a game.
Why the 2017 version of Schroeder when he's still in his prime with OKC? And personally, I would start prime Raymond Felton at shooting guard and have Dennis Schroeder come off the bench. That's just me.
Paul George is our small forward. Wait a minute, get that Indiana Pacers version out of here. This season was the best season of his career, the 2019 version. Markieff Morris, who barely gets any playtime now, but in his prime with the Phoenix Suns, was actually really good. Steven Adams is our center, and the sixth man, Raymond Felton, in his prime with the New York Knicks, he actually averaged 17 points a game. These next 3 teams are the 3 best teams in the entire video. Number 3, Los Angeles Lakers. Point guard, Lonzo Ball. Just kidding, move him to the bench because we got prime Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo in his prime is better than Lonzo Cornball. The same guy who said Nas is corny. You're corny.
Oh yeah, did you know in 2011 he was an all-star?
Yes, Rondo was an all-star in 2011. But why a picture of him where at the top of the jersey says 2013?
He was 8th place in the MVP voting. 12 points, 12 assists, and 4 steals a game. Do you know how crazy that is? He's a huge reason the Boston Celtics won titles.
I mean, Rondo was an all-star in 2013, but he was hurt. He missed the regular season due to that one injury he had when the Celtics faced the Hawks in Atlanta. Rondo was also a big help, but he wasn't a huge reason Boston won a title in 2008, when it was mainly Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. A title, not titles.
Then we got Lance Stevenson back when he was on the Indiana Pacers.
2017. 2014 was the best Lance we've seen. When he left the Pacers the first time, he was never the same again.
LeBron James! This is a tough one, but I think his best version was with the Miami Heat in 2013. It wasn't his highest scoring season, only 27 points a game, but he won MVP, he won a title, and it was the only time in his career he averaged over 40% from the three-point arc. His most complete season of his career. Kyle Kuzma at power forward, and Tyson Chandler. He was an all-star in 2013. This team has an amazing point guard, 3 great scorers, and one of the best defensive players of the last decade. Number 2, Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm excited about this one. You already know at point guard, we got Derrick Rose. The 2011 MVP before the injury. 25 points, 8 assists, the best player in the league at the time. But it gets better. Andrew Wiggins, the 2017 version, averaged almost 24 points a game. Are you serious? I mean, it's been a little downhill since then, but 24 points a game?
What's wrong with current Wiggins now? I mean, yeah, he averaged, more points than he does now, but I mean, is Andrew Wiggins going to get any better?
Small forward Luol Deng, also when he was on the Bulls, was an all-star that season.
Deng was not only an all-star, but a 2-time all-star in 2012 and 2013. Not 2017, since he was already past his prime in his first year with the Lakers.
Power forward Taj Gibson also was on the Bulls in 2014. Center Karl-Anthony Towns from this season. And 6th man, another all-star, Jeff Teague. In 2015, when he was on the Hawks, he was a top 10 point guard. If you add up all their points, this team averages like 130 points a game. And still, it's only number 2. Because number 1 might be the scariest team in NBA history. Number 1, the Golden State Warriors. This team makes the 2019 Golden State Warriors look like a G League team. Point guard, Stephen Curry. The season the Warriors went 73-9, before KD came, he averaged 30 points per game and won MVP.
He obviously meant 2016 because the 2015 Warriors did not win 73 games.
Andre Iguodala, when he was a superstar with the 76ers.
This dude said Iguodala was a superstar. If you don't chill out somewhere, he was a solid role player. Maybe a borderline all-star at best, but not a superstar, sir.
Small forward Kevin Durant, when he won MVP with the Oklahoma City Thunder. 32 points per game, one of the best NBA seasons ever. 2017 Draymond Green, not the best offensive player, but he won Defensive Player of the Year. And oh my goodness, the center DeMarcus Cousins when he was on the Kings. 27 points, 12 rebounds, the best center in the league. But it gets worse. Sixth man Andrew Bogut when he was on Milwaukee in 2010. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. If every NBA player was in their prime, this is the best team. Last video was the worst draft comparisons ever. Go watch that. That video was crazy. I'll put it somewhere on the screen for you to click. The worst team would have been the Chicago Bulls.
So in his opinion, he thinks the Chicago Bulls in their primes would have been the worst team. I don't think so. I think the New York Knicks still would have been the worst team if all these teams had their players in their primes during the 2018-2019 season. I mean, that Bulls team wouldn't be that bad. I mean, they still wouldn't make the playoffs, but I think they could at least win around a little over 30 games. Anyways, this has been my response video to LostNUnbound's the 7 best teams if everybody was in their primes video. Like I said, his editing was horrible, and it was just the wrong errors in information, mixing up the years and the seasons all together. Had he done better with the video and had better editing, I would have liked it even more. But I don't know. I just hope in the future he'll, do better with his videos. Because I question myself, does he even look up the right information? Because this is ridiculous. I hope he's just trolling, but I don't think he's trolling. I think he's dead serious. And because of this video, he makes me want to do what if the teams had their players in their primes for the 2018-2019 season. I'm thinking of doing that just to show him how it's really done. I have nothing against the guy. I'm sure he seems like a nice guy, and I'm sure his channel is doing great. And if it is, kudos to him. Do what you do. This video was a hot mess. And I noticed he's got a lot of dislikes. I mean, he has like slightly more likes, but his dislikes are like, the last time I saw, I think it was like 891 dislikes, I think. So a lot of people weren't really pleased with the video. I mean, I can't blame them. Also, I'm surprised he didn't mention or include some other teams like the Houston Rockets, the Nuggets with a prime Isaiah Thomas and Paul Millsap, the Heat with a prime Dwayne Wade, Hassan Whiteside, Goran Dragic, Ryan Anderson, Udonis Haslem, Dion Waiters, Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, James Johnson, Kelly Olynyk. That team in their primes is better than the Hornets, Hawks, and Cavaliers in their primes. But anyways, that's it. See ya.